Hi, my name is Patti Young, and I'm running for State Senate, Tennessee State Senate District 2. I truly feel like I'm a strong candidate. I may not have the political experience that some people do. However, I'm honest, I'm caring. I've worked 34 years in public schools, doing the very best that I can to help all students, to be a good staff member, I taught art and performing arts. I had hundreds of kids in plays at a time. I know how to manage a lot of people, and I actually enjoy that. I feel like I'm a very creative person, and I can approach problems creatively as well. But majorly, I feel like I'm qualified because I am very accepting of all people. And I feel like somebody that is pursuing a public office should care about everyone. And because every Tennessean is important, it doesn't really matter to me what faith they are, what color they are, whether they have money or whether they don't. Everyone deserves representation that can help them and help all the Tennessee families. I feel like I'm that person that is very inclusive. I will be there for everyone. Really three major issues, and we can talk about guns. I am not anti-gun. We live on a farm. We have wild animals. We have to protect ourselves from them, and I feel like people need to protect themselves. But what really bothers me is that we do not have the regulations here in Tennessee to keep everybody as safe as possible. You can't keep everybody safe, but we don't have restrictions in place like red flag laws, background checks. Guns keep getting into the hands of people that shouldn't have them, which is evident with what happened with Covenant. And not only did that happen here in Nashville, here in Tennessee, but our legislators were not going to listen. They didn't listen when the gallery was full of parents crying and asking for help. So why is that? Well, it's because many of our legislators are in some ways married to special interests and feel beholden to the gun lobbyists and to the NRA. And that is not taking care of Tennesseans. Again, I am for the Second Amendment. I really want to be able to protect myself. I have nothing against guns, but I think that we have to do something to keep ourselves safe here. And then another issue would be reproductive health for women. I understand that the idea of abortion is not as a settling issue. Nobody wants an abortion. And the whole idea of having to take the life from any living thing, to me, is horrific. However, in Tennessee, our total ban is not protecting the women who are possibly carrying cells or a fetus that is going to either die and or kill them. I cannot understand why we do not have something in place for certain issues like rape, incest, and not only that, what is happening, we are not getting gynecologists to come to Tennessee because they are afraid. They are afraid that if they need to do what they have to do to save a woman's life, they'll go to jail. So it's really a horrible issue, and it's a healthcare issue, and it shouldn't be decided, in my opinion, by a bunch of men in the legislature. It should be an issue that is dealt with doctors, with women, with their families. So that's issue 2. And the last issue is vouchers. So I taught for 34 years. I love public schools. Why do I love public schools? Well, public schools were initiated so that everybody had an equal opportunity to learn together, number one. Our population is so diverse that if we segregate all of our kids, they're never going to learn how to get along. And if there ever was a time the kids need to be together and learn to get along, it is now. The vouchers also take money from me, from the taxpayer, and give it to somebody supposedly, maybe a lower income person that could finally make a choice. Because if somebody that has the money, well, they can send their kids to private school. I have nothing against private schools. Let me just say that. I really do not. However, the vouchers are only $7,075. So if you think you're going to have a lower income person that's going to take the $7,075 and send them, let's just say, to Clayton Bradley, which is a fabulous school, well, they can't because it's $18,000. Or let's just say Webb, which is $21,000. So already your lower income people are not going to be able to supplement that money, and they're going to end up, staying in public schools anyway. That money, instead of giving it to the public schools and giving it to people that may or may not use it, or it goes to the private school, it's going to handicap our schools. Plus the fact, if a wealthy person says, well, I'm going to just take that $7,075 and I'm going to send my child or my children to private school, you better be careful in case you have a special needs child, because then that money isn't even going to matter. Because most of the schools cannot do the special services, like I know that Clayton Bradley can, and I'm not sure about Webb, but a lot of the schools can't. When I was in a meeting with about 80 people, when Brian Ritchie was going to be running and he was going to do a listening session, so many people spoke. Our superintendent from Maryville City Schools and the staff from Alcoa, from Blount County. Out of all the people that spoke, which was a lot of them, maybe 50 people spoke, one person said they were interested in pursuing vouchers. Every single other person said, no, it is not good for the children, and it's definitely not good for public schools. So I'm anti-voucher. Blount County's amazing, and I feel like does a really good job in many ways. I don't feel like, we have some serious problems that some more urban areas would have. But the one problem that I know that we have is growth that has not been planned. And we have a lot of people moving here because it's wonderful here, it's beautiful here, it's relatively safe here, and just in the years that I've been here, 34 years, the traffic is horrible. But not only the traffic, our schools are overcrowded. We don't have. We have one hospital that is kind of an issue too with money, and we just finally, I think, rectified our problem with our county commission and the hospital. But it kind of like explodes out through all of it. Like, one thing that I noticed right when I was working at Culture Grove is it's a big, beautiful school, and I happened to be lucky enough to be on the front end of it before it was built, and I got to be there first, and we were so excited because it was so roomy, we had so many classrooms, it was going to be amazing. Second year, we were trying to figure out where to put kids. That's how fast the growth is. And I don't personally feel like our commissioners have really, I think they've tried, but I don't think that it's working. And I think that we need to stop and take note right now because we can't let it get worse. The growth needs to be urban. We need to keep it in the city limits and not spread it out like so many people are complaining about, the Best Road and all these outlying places like near Heritage High School that are exploding with huge subdivisions with 300, homes in there and one way in and one way out. So I feel like everybody notices it, and I think it's a real problem. I don't think it's a good idea. I wish I was more knowledgeable as to why they think it's just going to be such a great idea. I do know that in its infancy, it might have been a good idea. But now we've got all these years down the road. It's going to take farms, it's going to take green spaces, and what it's going to do, it's going to take the traffic and it's going to dump all that traffic kind of around Heritage High School, around Morningstar Baptist Church, which is going to put so much traffic going toward the mountains, going toward Townsend, and I just don't think we need it. I think I would rather take that money and work on, making our roads better, but I'm not for the Pellissippi Parkway. I never saw myself ever in politics. I'm actually, fairly shy. I like to work with kids. I like to work with animals. But in 2016, I started working with Indivisible because I was really worried about, what would happen with the new president. And that just kind of morphed into working with the Blount County Democratic Party, which I'm the vice chair and have been vice chair for quite a few years now. I'm a caring person that wants to help, and I saw a need that we needed to do something to try to not make policies that were going to be detrimental, which I feel like, taking away environmental policies, climate change. And so I just got really involved in trying to make a difference. And here I am, since 2016, doing the very thing. I don't think it's appropriate for somebody else running, like my opponent, to be unopposed and just get all the votes just no matter what, when he is a good man, but we differ on policies, and people need a choice, number one. Number two is, I'm a woman, and our representation is lacking. I mean, I think there's like 9 state senators, women, the rest are men. So I think that people need to have a choice. And I also think that people shouldn't vote on party lines. I think you need to, I would like for people to get to know me and see that I'm honest and see that I'm willing to listen. I'm actually willing to change my mind if people can convince me. That is what we're supposed to do as a legislator. We are supposed to listen and be there for the people of Tennessee. I don't see that happening so much with some people that are running. They're taking. I didn't take any PAC money. I'm running just with local donations. People that really want to support me. I'm not beholden to a voucher. I'm not for Hillsdale or whatever. I'm just not. I'm going to do what I think I should do for the people of Tennessee.